knew I couldn't pick the whole thing up because when I was in the garage I couldn't pick the whole thing up. Get old, or I should say older. Sort of like a little girl now. Okay, we're getting closer to the reveal. That's hot. All right, let's move the camera over here and get a look at it. Let's just zoom right down on it. As you can see, it came out all right. That's great. Let me see who's texting me here. It's Chuck Bomarito. He wants to know how the pour came out. And I'll send him a picture. What do you think of that? Okay, so this side came out perfect. This side, this is where the dirt fell in, so it says engineered 3. So I'll keep this one for mine, and whichever one turns out the best I'll send to Bruno. Here's the base for it, and it's come out pretty nice. I'm sure that I could do with a little smoothing. I don't know, maybe not. But now I gotta mull up this sand and make another one and get it done before I run out of light. I've only got a couple of hours for it, and I'm not going to do the next one on camera, although I may show you the results. Here it is the next day and the second casting. Started melting a hole in there. It's still pretty hot. It did melt a hole in there. I'm going to have to buy a new box to put my sand in. Caught my flask on fire a little bit there too. And I had the piece a little too close to the edge. Yeah, there's a hole down there now. That's too hot. Well, that's undoubtedly a really good casting. That one came out a lot better. It's too hot to hang on to a lot. See if I can bring it over here and show you guys. It's a little hot. Came out pretty good on this side. It came out really good on this side. Here all the letters are legible. So we're doing all right. I'll take this thing, clean the sand off and everything, cool her down some. We'll go and cut it off with a hacksaw or bandsaw or something and see how it looks up close and clean. Now we had some learnings from this because I'm not an expert on making patterns or casting, and Bruno's not either, so we waded off into this thing and we discovered something by accident, that you can have actually too much draft. And this is too much draft. When I would put this in the flask, this piece right here would be on the bottom, and this one would be on the top. So this wound up in what you call the cope. Alright? And the cope's on top. So then when I would lift the cope off, this guy would fall out. And he would take a piece of sand with him right in this area right here. And we needed probably more draft on the inside there. But anyway, he would take a piece of sand with him. And I had that happen 2 or 3 times before I got the right idea. And the idea I got was to make some straps like this with screws through them. Screws don't want to fall out now after all the trouble I had in, and stick them like this. Remember, this guy right here, he's in the drag on the bottom. And this guy goes on the top. And I had actually a strap over here too. But you can see this strap is here. And then when I put the sand in, these screws are up in the sand and they hold this guy in the cope so he doesn't fall out. And that worked actually, believe it or not. So anyway, that's a learning for you guys that could be amateurs like me, about you can get too much draft. Okay? Now we're going to take a look at what we just cast today. As you can see, the writing's good and plain in there. It's good and plain in there. And it actually says 3D, although the end of the D may get a little chipped. But judicious machining can save that, I'm pretty sure. Now what I've got to do, I got to cut all this extra metal loose from the parts. And I'll package this up and send it to Bruno. This is his. This is the one that came out the best, and that's what I'm sending him. As a reward for all his hard work. Alright? So we'll move over here on the bandsaw, and if we can keep the blade on it long enough, we'll cut these things loose. Now, I'll have to admit, I have hard feelings towards this bandsaw. I've never been able to keep the blade on the stupid thing. It just drives me crazy. It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I've aligned it every which way, and undoubtedly it's whipped me. I'm just not smart enough to align the blade on this stupid thing, and I don't like it. So there's my problem. Let's see if I can get this thing to cut off without the blade jumping off more 6 or 7 times. Stupid blade jumped off. I hate this thing. I'm going to saw the rest of them off camera because I feel like saying bad words. Alright, so I got the pieces cut loose and all the scrap cut off of them. And the next step will be to put them in a flat rate box and send them to Bruno. So there you go. Let's go see what Bubba or Ole or Boudreaux or somebody's up to. Well, this here ventriloquist stopped by Bubba's hometown there, and he was down at the zero end, you know, putting on a show, and Bubba's in there having a few beers. And so ventriloquist began to tell dumb redneck jokes, you know. And a little bit Bubba jumped up and says, "Hey you," he says, "I done had about enough of that. Yeah, I don't want to hear no more of that stuff." He says, "We ain't all ignorant, you know." Ventriloquist says, "Oh, I'm very sorry, sir." He says, "You know," he said, I didn't mean to offend you." Bubba says, "You stay out of this. I'm talking to that little fart aleck on your knee." Well,
that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.